The friendly faces, heavenly places, they seem to call to me. If ever I should go, I will return to thee.
Aloha everyone, another beautiful day in Hawai'i. Welcome to Iwalani's Healing Garden, and I'm Iwalani. Again, so what is this garden all about? Well, again, to share with you, so newcomers coming on, I was hit twice with cancer, and I'm such a selfish person. I was so devastated, and I kept saying, dear Lord, help me, help me. I came out to my family property here, started digging, plowing, planting, and praying a lot for good health. And that's the reason why today I call it the Iwalani's Healing Garden. And I believe in that, you know, because we are our best person to heal, body, mind, and soul. When you believe in yourself, everything is possible. Everything is possible. Today I have an amazing woman. I've known her many, many years, and it really takes me back to the time that I've actually known her parents and her daughter. I mean, the whole family was like my family. Please welcome Denise Torres. Thank you, Denise. Thank you so much for being here with Auntie.
It's an honor to be here.
You know, I've known you for what, 30, 40 years? How many years that we?
About 35, 36 years.
Yeah, 36 years. And you know, I know how you were raised, but if you can tell the audience, basically, how were you raised in a strict family that really affected you? Because I know you've gone through a lot, but your mother was phenomenal and your dad too. Well, let us talk about how it affected you.
So I think it affected me in the way I am now.
Yes.
I had a very strict upbringing. You know, for the girls, we couldn't go outside and play. They didn't know what a card game was.
Yes.
The brothers, I had 4 brothers and 3 sisters. And the girls were to be left in the house to cook and clean. And so, you know, to go play tetherball, volleyball, we couldn't do nothing of that. Couldn't date till we were 18. So I think that made me realize that, you know, there's so much more I have to be thankful for, because it made me who I am with cooking and my love for cooking. And I tried to do that with my daughters as well.
Well, you were trained at a very, very young age with the cooking and the cleaning and everything. But mom, you know, was strict with you, especially your dad too. But I know you were active in the church because that was your only outing. You know, to sneak, I wouldn't say sneak out, but that was your outing of getting out, meeting friends, making friends, you know, to develop more of your social activities.
It gave me, because I wanted to get out, and I thought, Dad's family is all with the church.
Yes.
They were all with the church. So, hey, Lanakila Baptist Church in Waipahu, the bus would always pass by our house. So I'd be like, I can actually go to church and not have to worry about anybody taking me.
Yes.
So I did the work. I found out how I could get on that bus to go to church. And so I was able to go to like mother-daughter dinners. I went camping in Kauai with the church. I caught my first fish.
Your independence
so all of those
grew.
Things, yeah, you know, so it helped me open up, because living in a very strict house, you tend to be more introverted.
Yes, yes.
So that helped me to be able to get out, but I still had that strict.
Yes.
Can I wear lipstick? Can I wear makeup?
And the fun part, because of all of that and your creativity, listen to this. She enrolled in beauty pageants because people will go up to her and say, you know, you're extremely glamorous, you're extremely beautiful, you're extremely pretty, and she is all of that inside and out. But what was important, that through the pageantry, and then one led into the other, because she did a lot of print work, she did modeling, and so many other wonderful things that opened up that social time for you. Isn't that true?
Yeah, so I happened to see in the paper there was, you could win a prize for Gypsy Norton Modeling
Yes,
School.
I remember.
And so the prize was the contest was pick the girls if you knew who that person was, and she happened to be my classmate. So of course I won, but when you get there, they offer you modeling classes.
Yes.
So that was another thing for me to do, build my confidence.
Yes.
And also it gave me this opportunity, like I got my first job, You know, at 17, I was working at the airport as a model greeter.
Yes.
And then they asked me to do a show, a comedy show with a Japanese comedian. And then I did pamphlets for for the Japan market.
Yes.
So I did a lot with that. And then all of a sudden, I wanted to do pageants because that would let me get out more. And it would still be good. I wasn't dating. I wasn't wearing a lot of makeup. But, you know, that mom and dad supported that. You know,
Yes.
and that's what I needed. Mom was my biggest supporter. So.
Well, you know, and then moving forward again, how was it when you met your husband? Rumors tell me, when I heard through the grapevine or your family, that he saw you in a pamphlet in one of the pageant books, and he pursued you that way because he said, "Who is this pretty girl? I got to meet her."
So I was working at a company here in Waimalu, and the salesman used to always come. So we would always talk story. And he found out I was in the pageants, and so he wanted to see my book. I gave him the book. He wanted me to autograph it. And then he took it to his job, and he showed it to his workers. And so my husband at the time saw my picture, and he said he wanted to meet me. So I'm like, I tried to avoid my salesman because I didn't want to meet anybody.
Yes.
And I think the strictness was still behind in the back of my head. And so I finally gave in. Okay, I'll meet this person. And so we went on our first date, and it was his company Christmas party. And he talked a lot of pidgin, and I didn't. So it was
Yes.
very like, I didn't know what he was saying. But, you know, that night it was like, do you mind if I see you again? And I thought, if you think it's worth it, because I'm in Waipahu, you're in Kaneohe, so, but we got married right after that.
Oh,
so,
nice. How old were you when you got married?
I got married at 21.
21. And you had two beautiful daughters?
I had two beautiful daughters.
Nice.
yeah.
And what caused you to, after, because of this fast relationship and things weren't going well, I know he was totally not your style, and gave you the strength to actually file for divorce?
Things started happening where, you know, life happens.
Yes.
Elements in life happen, and he asked me for a divorce. And, you know, the first time he did, I never thought I would see that happening. You know, married for 24 years, you think marriage is forever. And I was shocked, and I kept holding on. And then, you know, and then it just got progressively worse. So when he asked me again, I still didn't believe that I should be getting a divorce. My parents were happily married for so many years. So I think the next day, after something had happened, that the next day my daughter called me from Texas or California. And she told me, you know, she says, "Mom, you know, what's happening?" And I told her in a nutshell. And she said, why don't you give him the divorce? And you know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, we don't get divorced in our family. But I did. I came home that day, and I told him I would file for divorce. And, you know, and it was a shock. I mean, and even Dad said, you know, Mom would not want you to be divorced, because Mom had already passed. Dad was still alive. And I said, no, Mom would want me to be happy.
I think so,
You know?
yes.
And, you know, and so if we're in a relationship that, you know, our differences are just not coming together anymore, I don't think Mom would want me to be that way. So,
Well, you know, Mom, ladies out there, her mom was a no-nonsense person. She ruled 100%. Mama ruled that house. And so when Dad said Mom wouldn't want you to get a divorce, it is true that she ruled, and she would not want any kind of hakaka. She wouldn't want any kind of disappointment for her daughters, and I would think she would encourage for her daughter to get a divorce. And I believe for any of you out there, if you're not happy, don't stay in a situation. Yes, the old school, yes, stick it out no matter what. But nowadays, if it's not resonating with you, it's not part of your values, it's not part of how you feel that you should be treated, then reevaluate your life and realize you're worth more than that. I'd like to talk about your mom. You know, her mom collected elephants because she was bigger than life. Her whole house, their house, of all of Mililani, the news would come over, the policemen would be out in the front directing traffic, because thousands, and I mean thousands of people would come to see their home. And Mom invited them throughout the garden as well as into the house. And every person that came into the house, she gave them a candy cane. Her love was amazing. Her generosity, and I think that's where you get all of that
Thank
too.
you.
No, you're so loving. And I'm going to say this, because of all of that, knowing you for so many years, I remember when I was first hit with cancer and we had a fundraiser because I wasn't, as an entertainer, I didn't have insurance. And then too, coming from a divorce, so my priorities was not on me buying insurance for my health. Looking in the mirror, I thought I was the epitome of good health. Well, then no, later, after my mammogram, the doctor said you're stage 3 cancer. And so when I had my fundraiser, her family, in fact, her family, her sister and her called and said, we have 100, 200 pink lollipops that we want to gift to you so that you can give to your people that came to your event. I mean, this is an act of kindness. And, I knew the name, I knew the voice, but we haven't seen each other for so many years. Her daughter took hula from me. Her mother was so much part of my life. Denise was so much part of my life, as well as her sister. And this act of kindness was so wonderful, and it really touched my heart, Denise. I have to tell you, I was just overwhelmed with all of this kindness. So moving forward, tell me more about George. Now, after you got a divorce, years went by. You spent how many years at the hotel, though?
So I've been at the hotel. I worked for Outrigger Hotels for 24 years. So I just made 24 years. And so during the time of my divorce, George worked at the hotel.
Yes.
And he would see me coming and going. And he found out I had gotten a divorce because I had lost a lot of weight. So, and he had just gotten a divorce. So, he wanted to have a drink, and I'm like, I'm not ready for all of this. It's too soon. To me, it's just too soon. I didn't know when it would be okay. That, what do people think? You just get divorced and now you're going out. And I didn't want that. I wanted to know that when I was ready to go.
Yes.
And he came by the counter one day, and we had been talking, just talking randomly, and he asked me, what am I doing for New Year's? And knowing that, I'm going to be alone, and I was like, I didn't even thought about that. Everything is just happening so fast. And he came by the desk and asked me, let's go for New Year's.
Aww.
And I didn't know what to say because I didn't want my workers to think like, she just got divorced. And I'm like, so we went, our first date was on a New Year's Eve. And he's just been there for me.
Awesome.
He's been there for me. He's been there with me through my dad's passing and stuff.
Yes.
Too. So he's been...
You're the caregiver, or you were the whole family for your mother and your father, and that was very hard for you at that time too.
So I took care of, Mom was bedridden for 4 years. She had fallen at one time and messed up her knees real bad. And then she was doing her thing again, and then she fell again at home. And that left her bedridden for 4 years. So I took care of her, did everything for her. So for her passing, it was really hard because I was with her. I would work during the night, take care of her during the day, then Dad would come home and I would go to work. So, yeah. And then took care of Dad as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
For me, it's a pleasure. I mean, it's an honor. People always say, it's so hard to take care of your parents. To me, I don't see it like that. I just see it as they took care of me. Now I'm going to take care of them. So,
Nice. And I'll be right back. Aloha, I'm back again. And be bold and brave, because we've always talked about for me to bless. I have anyway. And I keep saying it every Sunday. I'm in the sun. I'm in the garden, digging, plowing, planting, and I gotta take care of this. The rest have already gone, but this is important, because this is what you're looking at. So, remember, we have the day cream, yes, and it's phenomenal, okay? And night before you go to bed, it's 24K. You put this on also too. So please remember, if you value yourself, value this. Don't take my word, you just try it. For me to bless. We have 2 beautiful products, day and night creams. Aloha until we see you again. Ahui ho. Woohoo! Welcome back. I want to share with all of you, no matter what your circumstances that you're going through, you need to be able to conquer yourself. I know it sounds easier said than done, but you can do it through all these different experiences. Live your own truth, yeah. Know your inner spirit. because it talks to you from inside. Trust me, I talk to myself and I talk within the garden, and you find out solutions that you never thought you would come out with, you know. Surrender. Surrender. To me, that was the greatest thing. And pray a lot, because honestly, someone's listening. Someone is listening. So I'm going to ask Denise, you know, what happened? What was that breaking moment for you, you know, when everything started to change your life? You know, how do you find that? What was that you gone through? What was your aha? Like, okay, something hit you. It was really hard. Really hard.
I think going back, I think the first thing that really hit me hard, I'm not going to say it's the hardest because I've had harder. It was the hardest at that time was my mom's passing. I was working the night before, and every night, because I worked nighttime, I would work grave, and every night she would call me and we would talk because I was there alone. So she would call me and we would talk story. And that one night, she didn't call me. And the next morning, I was putting gas, Walmart, Iwalani, and I'm putting gas, and I'm like, something's not right. Something is not right. I put gas, it was an eerie feeling, and I get home and she's weak. She's just weak, and I'm like, Mom, you are weak, let's go to the hospital. And she was like, no. I said, I'm gonna go sleep a little bit, because I worked overnight. I'm gonna take you to the hospital. So I went, I lied down, but I couldn't sleep, because I felt something's not right. And so I went out, I went back into the room. I said, Mom, take my hand. And she wouldn't take my hand, like she didn't, it was just wasn't there. So I said, see, you're too weak, I'm gonna take you to the hospital. And her last words to me, she literally raised her hand real strong and told me, don't be stubborn. So that's my mother's last words to me, and it's just like, and I told her, you don't be stubborn. I went to go change my clothes, I came out and she had passed. So I think she wanted to pass at home. That was the hardest thing. Moving forward, taking care of my dad. He passes away in the hospital right after I left him. I just left him. I would go visit him every day. And I just got back to my job to pick George up because we worked together. And the doctor called me and said he had passed. So, so those are hard. Losing your parents is very hard. But every year I go visit my children. One lives in Chicago, one lives in Texas. And so I will go to Chicago first for a week, 10 days, and then I fly to Texas. And October 29th of 2018, I was supposed to have been flying to Texas. And on October 28th, my son-in-law called me and told me that my daughter had been killed in a car accident, and for me to get there as soon as I could. So that just killed me inside.
Of course.
It's it was something that I couldn't believe happened, because I was so close to seeing her, and now I had nothing. I couldn't identify her because she was so messed up. So so I flew in that night so we could tell my granddaughters, because she has 3 daughters. And then I had to plan my daughter's service. Instead of planning a trip that I was so looking forward to, I had to plan my daughter's funeral service.
You know, it's very difficult. You know, you lose your parents, then you lose a child. She was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous girl. And, you know, with just proper upbringing and everything else. And, you know, like I say, you know, it's a journey that you went through, and, you know, you don't want anybody else going through that. Tell us, Denise, what changed your life? What did you go into to help ease the pain that became now your own therapy and your relaxation?
So I don't think there's anything that really makes you forget.
Yes.
You know, I have moments where I can be sitting, I can be driving, and I see a car that she drove, the same type of car, and I start getting all anxiety, and I start getting all teary, and I have to breathe and get my composure. So what I found that I like to do was cook. I've always loved to cook. Now I find it more relaxing, and I like cooking my Puerto Rican food. things that I grew up with, pasteles that, you know, people want to know. It's a tedious process, but I want to do it all myself. And I have volunteers to help me. But I'm like, this is my therapy, cake decorating, making cakes and stuff. I get into it and I'm just totally in my kitchen. And it lets me think about her, lets me think about my mom, lets me cry about the good memories and the bad memories. And so cooking is my therapy. I was dancing a lot when my mom passed away. I started going back into my salsa dancing. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to be out.
Yes.
I want to be in my house. I want to be, my comfort is my home. And I have all the doors closed and I can just totally get into my cooking. So it's a godsend for me that I know how and I can, and I'm learning more each day.
You know, I commend you for that because, you know, I would burn hot water. Yeah. And you invite me to a party, you know, ask me for potluck, but I will bring paper products. You know what I mean? I cannot cook. But for you, I mean, like you said, you get into the kitchen, you do all these phenomenal things. I mean, I'm salivating just thinking about the food we're going to eat after. And I mean, you're just wonderful. And then they had someone calling you to do a cooking show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to share a little bit about that?
About last year, we were at one of my brother's dances. He played what they call kachi music. And my classmate was saying, she goes, would you like to do something for the Honolulu Advertiser? And I was like, so I'm thinking it's going to be the Advertiser. You can wear boro kind clothes.
Yes.
Because you're in the kitchen, it's a paper. But they had cameras. And they wanted me to show how to make it. So that came out the month later. And on Star Advertiser's Crave section, I have like 86,000 views, and I'm like, I'm just so amazed by that. And then this couple months ago, Lynette had messaged me again asking me if I would do a showing a demo of making my rice, my arroz con ganduli or ganduri rice, how they say in Hawaii, for Kiku TV. And that's been airing just now. It just came out. So people are telling me that, hey, I saw you on TV. And it's an honor to me to be able to do what I love, but do what I love, which was Mom's recipes, and then show it with other people.
You know how kind you are. I want to share because she knows I don't eat pork. Yeah, since my surgeries, as far as my cancer, they told me not to eat pork or red meat and things like that to change my diet. And so she said, oh, I have all these great recipes. And she was telling me, and I went, I don't eat pork. And she's so amazing. She turned it all into putting chicken. Who does?
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, I was on the phone, yeah. We were texting.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I don't make arroz con ganduli with chicken or without meat. I'm a Puerto Rican. We use pork for a lot. And I couldn't do it without meat. And all I kept thinking was, I got to do it with chicken because Auntie Iwalani does not eat pork. So I did it. And I was tasting it this morning. I'm going, it tastes good.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm glad I was able to do that for you.
Thank you. And you also got recently certified. Tell me about that. Yay.
So with COVID-19, I'm not working. I haven't worked since March. And so I'm on the computer a lot. I'm on Facebook a lot. And there's a lot of different free classes. You can take free classes. So there was David Tutara, who's like the wedding guru of the world to me. And he offered event planning challenge, a course. And I took it. So we just had our graduation this past week. So I graduated in the event planning challenge. And I'm also taking web cooking classes, not to learn how to cook, but to learn the elements, what proper tools to use, and how to cook with what you have in your kitchen type of thing. So,
well, you know, you're a one-stop shop now because you can do flowers, you can cook, you can bake. Now you can, you know, you're a planner, a party planner.
I signed up for Watanabe.
Yes, there you go. You know, you can do so many things now. So that's adding to your wealth of knowledge. It's helping you more therapeutically, you know, and people are looking at you with all this tower of strength, not really realizing deep down inside what you're going through. They have no idea that, you know, all this fufu-lala gorgeous things, but you're actually crying inside, you know. But telling the people out there how strong you are, that you just didn't get into a pity party, if you will, that she was out there to say, I got to conquer this. I got to fix me. I have to fix me, because if I don't fix me, I'm worthless to anybody else. But through her cooking and her planning and her beautiful face and just loving life, we got to learn to live. We're only in this journey once, family and friends out there. Yeah, create that beautiful legacy that you want to be remembered by. Now, things happen. I call it the kuka hit the kahili. What you going to do? You got to dust it off. I know it's not easy, but always imua. You got to think about, you know, what's the greatest you? What is the greatest you? And we all have that within ourselves. Don't you think so?
Yep. I call it, my moments are the tears of a clown. That song, the old song.
Yes.
The tears of a clown when no one's around. So that's how I see myself, that I'm happy and I'm joyful with everybody and whatnot. But when nobody's around is when I'm crying. I cry in the shower, I cry in my car, I cry in my room, I'm crying when I'm cooking. But when I'm with my family and friends, you know, I have to be upbeat. I have, you know, it's something that I don't want to draw you into it.
That's right. And you know what? Just when she was talking, I felt this beautiful breeze come through. I believe it's our ancestors saying, yay!
Yeah.
Oh, she's saying
felt it
something
too.
beautiful, because I believe there's spirits all around us. And here it's coming again.
I feel
Here it's coming again. Your mother, your father, your daughter is saying, I commend you. I commend you, because you're picking it up and you know you're going to make the best of it so you can continue to share this love with everybody else. Be bold. Be brave, yeah? Don't hold anything back. And I'll be right back. Wow, this is delicious. Tell me about it. I know salad, and this is the
Flan. So this
flan.
is Puerto Rican flan.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And is that your Puerto Rican?
My
also-
secret salad sauce.
Oh, great! The secret salad sauce, and also tell me about your chicken.
So this is my baked chicken. It's what I call gallina con sazon, which is chicken with flavor.
Oh.
Or with seasoning. So it's my little secret sauce again.
Oh yay! And you can be found with all these recipes. They can look you
All
up,
my-
right?
yeah, all my foods on Facebook, yeah.
On Facebook recipes.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
I cannot cook, but you gonna make for me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do now is make videos
Oh,
of
nice.
step by step how to cook the meals, because people are asking.
Nice.
So that's what I'm working on doing right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And this rice.
My arroz con ganduli that I made for you special with chicken instead of pork.
Yay!
So
And
there's
for
chicken
those
in
of you
there.
that don't eat pork, well, look how clever you are
Yeah.
to do it chicken. my delicious chicken. Oh,
And then I made mini pasteles here. Normally
You wanna open?
we eat the big ones.
Yes.
People will eat, but I like to make appetizer size. So
wow.
just pop it in your mouth.
Yes.
And there's the pastele right
wow.
there. So
That is
you wanna,
so.
oh, you wanna try this one? A little bit pork.
Of course.
Little
That's
bit
okay.
pork.
That's okay. I gotta, you know. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
So yeah, this is my Cocinando con Denise. So you can find me on Facebook.
I salute to all of you out there that's struggling with adversities and things that's not going right in your life. And to you, Denise, you know, thank you for sharing. It was such a difficult moment for me. Actually, I was tearing up, and with my false eyelashes was kind of hard, yeah. But it was like, oh, please, you know, help me to not get my emotions in the way. But unfortunately, it did. So I needed water to hydrate and gather my thoughts to all of you out there. But to commend Denise for just sharing, you know, this heart-wrenching stories and that she's been going through. It's not an easy thing. And sorry, sweetie, I'm going to put you on the line again to ask you about what's the message to mothers that are struggling out there, you know, families that are struggling out there that's lost a child through this devastation.
I think, you know, for me as a mom, and I know that, you know, my brother and his wife lost their son
Yes.
and back in the same 2018 or 2017 October. And I could not think of it. You know, you hear about parents losing their children, and how does one deal with it? How do you keep on keeping on? And so to hit so close to home with my sister-in-law, you know, my heart went out to her. That's my sister-in-law. That's not somebody that I don't know, but I know that they had the loss. And then right after that, in June of 2018, my classmate lost her daughter. And she's like my sister, so it was like that was so hard to even fathom. Like, how do you deal with, especially when they're older? I mean, loss of a child is just crazy. When you've grown with them through the years, it's just incomprehensible. So with losing my daughter, I just know that I'm not alone with other moms. I belong to a group that's called Mothers of Angels That Have Gone Too Soon. And it's just crazy, you know, children, mothers who have lost their children, it's you think that you're alone, but this group has been so supportive because they understand.
Yes.
And so find a group, find somebody to talk to that, you know, your friends are your friends, they're there for you. But unless you go through it, you know, it's just crazy. So for me, it's my support group has been on Angels of Mothers, or Mothers of Angels That Have Gone On Too Soon.
You know, and I want to know about what's the message to drunk drivers, okay? You're drinking, you're not thinking about who could be out there, or truck drivers that's not being focused, you know, of what's happening in their surroundings. I know it's hard. It's hard. I'm digging deep, and I'm so sorry, but people need to hear this.
You know, when my daughter's passing, I was so upset with God. Like, I was so upset with God because every day I prayed to God. Yes. Every day I prayed to God, take care of my daughters, take care of my grandchildren, take care of my son-in-laws, everybody that I love, my brothers, sisters, and God took my daughter from me. So, and what I find ironic was that the way she passed was from an 18-wheeler. And that's the kind of truck that her dad drives. And so that, I was angry with that, you know, so I want to be able to go forward in my next step, I guess, is talk to truck drivers. You know, it may not be their fault, it may be their fault, but be aware they have a big tool, and that big tool can ruin so many lives in an instant. And that's how my daughter was killed, was with an 18-wheeler. So every time I see 18-wheelers, I get anxiety. It's like seeing a car that she drove. You know,
Yes.
I can't breathe. I'm driving and I can't breathe with that truck next to me. So I think I just to be careful out there.
And you see a lot of hoailonas, and hoailonas is like symbols or messages or signs, the 1212, like you were telling me.
Right.
You see this constantly, or earlier I felt the wind. I believe in all of that, you know, the spirituality of all of this. You wanted to give a shout out to your ex-husband and his beautiful wife.
You know, of course, when you get divorced, you don't want to talk to them. You know, you just separate. You go your way. And we came together when they came to Texas for the
Nice.
service. And I met his wife, and you know, and it's like, who wants to meet the ex's new
Yes.
partner? But I just felt a connection with her.
Nice.
And I just, you know, I just felt so connected to her, that she was so calming, so there. And I remember Tiffany had came for their wedding, and she didn't know how to tell me, because the daddy gonna get married, and I'm like, she told me that her friend was getting married. And then she tells me, Dad's getting married. And I'm like, that's okay. You know, that's okay. He's gone on with his life. And she told me that Rhonda was really nice. And so Rhonda's been really good. Love her dearly. And so we've just gotten along. You
And
know?
that is really
And I
nice.
know that that's what Tiffany would want, you know. And so it's just so good, the family, everybody's so nice and caring and understanding of what me as the mom is going through. So,
You know, and that's all part of the healing, don't you think? Friends out there, you turn something into a positive, yeah? We go through negatives and we turn it into a positive? How can we be triumphant at the end of all of this? Because I believe every little thing that we go through, there's a message, there's a reason for all these things. But again, like I say, if you're going to boo-ha-ha and make this destroy you, because when you're at dis-ease, that's how the disease is going to come and manipulate your body. I've said that before. You don't want to have stress, you don't want to have cancer, you don't want to have, just be a basket case. So take every lesson and say, okay, I've learned something from this. What is the message? And turn it into a positive, so you have a voice and you can share with others. And something like you know, you've learned to heal, you've learned to move on. You can be a self-motivational speaker and say, you know what, I've learned from that. I've been there, exactly what you said earlier. You don't know how to talk about it if you've never been through it. So listen well to family and friends. Watch carefully about people going through some hardships and some struggles and adversities, because we all will. We all will. It's inevitable. We all go through stuff in our life. But how can we turn it around and say, you know what? I learned something from this. This is awesome. And at the time you're going through it, you don't think it's awesome at all. But you're going to learn to dig deep into your feelings and say, hey, I'm going to conquer this. And I'm going to come out the best way I can. And that's when you know you've grown a lot. You know, you've bloomed from within, and that's what it is all about. Don't you think so?
Exactly.
It is so important that we can take something and turn it into a positive, turn it into something beautiful. I mean, I can't even fathom the idea that you've lost parents, you've lost your daughter, you've gone through a divorce, but this is life. People go through things like this. Live your truth, don't you think? Feel your soul and then feed your soul with the cookie. No, I cannot wait to eat.
I like to say, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping
and then talking to my other daughter. You know, it helps a lot, you know, with my grandsons and talking to my granddaughters. So I have to keep on because of my grandkids, because of my other daughter. It's not about me. It's about living because I want to be able to be with them. So,
nice. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will be right back. Aloha, dear family and friends out there. First of all, I want to thank you, Denise, for just being here and sharing your beautiful story. I want to thank For Me to Bless, all the beautiful lei and flowers all the time. And more importantly, for Mangorial's food and catering, Annabelle Kabebe, and just all you wonderful people out there watching us, and spread the word of love and kindness. And I always remember, aloha. Aloha is not only a word, it's an action. When you show kindness and compassion, that's the true essence of aloha. When we're going through this pandemic time, we're all stressing about different things. So don't forget, wear your mask, know your distance, do your shaka, knuckles, whatever it may be. Please remember to sanitize, wash your hands, and just be really mindful in all that you do. This is Hawaii, and we want to bring the numbers down, not up. We need to bring them down so we can invite tourists, and then we can holo holo and go traveling and all those wonderful things. So again, my aloha to you. God bless you. For me to bless. Aloha, ahui ho. And don't forget to watch us every Sunday at 4 o'clock, okay? 4 o'clock every Sunday. Woohoo! Aloha. You know, in this COVID time, and you're always doing takeouts. Yeah, I'm going to put her on the spot here because, you know, you don't have time to go to fine dining or restaurants. This is so delicious. I don't cook. I need to take out. Denise, please help Auntie. How do we get a hold of you? How can we do all of this?
So you can find me on Facebook, Denise Torres, or I can give you the link.
Yes.
After the show, and then you can place an order. I have people. I can make takeout plates.
Yay!
So,
yeah. You gonna make me another
plate?
plate?
I'll make you a plate.
Woohoo! Yes. So for those of you that's salivating right now, don't forget you can order, and this is gonna be phenomenal. I know you jealous. Haha! I get to eat. With her secret Puerto Rican dressing, salad dressing. These are all recipes from her mom that dates back years and years and years, and you get a chance to try it. So give her a call, okay, or text her or whatever it may be. Denise, thank you so much.
welcome.
Wow.
Enjoy.
This is only my first plate, okay? I'm gonna have two, I'm sure.